What's up, storyteller? I'm Clark Rowanson, the Magic Engineer, and it's time to talk about not magic, but I guess some of the near future of this channel. So, there's a lot going on right now. Most of it good, but there's some changes that I need to make about how I'm dealing with this channel and how I'm managing my time with all of my various writing efforts. And this is just as much your channel as it is mine. So this video is it's not really about magic at all. I just want to open up to you guys a little bit, let you know what's going on and what I kind of see as the path forward, and give you an opportunity to engage and let me know what you're interested in and what you think would be most helpful, most interesting. First, let's talk about what's going on. Short version, I'm burned out, but that's not really anything new. It's just kind of a perpetual state I've been dealing with, trying to balance the writing, maintaining a marriage and relationships and a full-time job and monitoring my health and all of that kind of stuff. It's just a lot to manage. And if you have been following me on Patreon or been on my newsletter, you know all about this. This doesn't mean that I'm just going to stop doing things simply because I'm burned out. Because like I said, I've been dealing with it for a while. I'm managing it, and I have been able to prevent it from going too far. But that is an important part of the stage that I need to set as we go over the rest of this. So I've been feeling more burned out lately than usual for a variety of reasons. Not the least of which is just a number of things have been going really, really well. This YouTube channel, for one, I did not expect it to grow this quickly, and especially given how rarely I'm able to put videos up for you guys. I've also got a number of projects that I really am excited about. I've got a video course in the works. I've got some books that are moving forward. We'll see where those actually go. I've even got a couple of collaborations with some other writing tool producers that I really, really want to get back to. And all around, I'm just really low on time, and I'm really low on energy pennies, which again isn't really anything new. It's a fine line that I've been walking, probably a bit too fine of a line that I've been walking the past several years. It's just to really make more headway and get the quality that I want out of some of these other projects. I need to find a way to get more time. And there's only so much time I can add in, given that I'm already sort of dancing on the edge of burnout. I can't just sleep less and stack more time into writing. I have tried that, and it's not a good idea. I have tried that in the past, and it is not a good idea, which means the other options I have are to do less of other things. And I'm kind of in a situation which gets really frustrating a lot of the times, that there's not much that I can scale back on. But I have identified a few things, and I'm already scaling back on my newsletter. It's not weekly anymore for the time being. I do want to go back to weekly newsletters eventually, but right now I'm shifting to bi-weekly, and that alone is getting me a couple of hours a week back that I can spend on these other projects. And I'm sure anybody who has tried to create a video will not at all be surprised to hear that the YouTube videos are probably the single biggest time commitment I have outside my major projects. Doing one of these videos, even just like the 10-minute ones, most of the videos usually take me 8 to 15 hours to get done. And yeah, I only do them once a month, but if I'm able to scale back in any fashion on YouTube, that could also add up some additional hours that I can then put into the projects. Now, don't panic, because I'm not planning on shutting this channel down altogether. I want to keep giving you content. It's just a matter of me finding a way that I can give you quality information and quality content while still being able to reclaim a little bit of time, which is what I want to talk about next. I've got some ideas, and I'm going to lay some of them out, and I want to see what you think. As I've been exploring this problem, there's kind of three main options I've seen. And the first of which is to create shorter content. That's the first recommendation most people have when I'm doing any Google searches, any time management searches, looking through things on YouTube. Everybody is saying, well, make it so the content is smaller bites and it takes less time to produce. I am not gonna do that. I have tried doing those kinds of shorter pieces in the past. In fact, there are some videos that I tried recording to make them smaller 5-minute chunks, and I just really wasn't happy with them. And they haven't been uploaded because that information then got folded into some of the longer videos. It's not what I want to do. It's not how I want to present the information to you. I think you deserve quality information and quality videos, and I want to produce quality information and quality videos. And I am not comfortable, and I basically am refusing to do what feel like fluff pieces to me just so that I can keep content streaming into YouTube. I'm not going to do it. And this isn't me trying to diminish anybody else who takes that approach with the smaller bites, but with the stuff I want to cover, with how I think and what I want to deliver to you, those kinds of smaller pieces just don't seem like an option for me, which kind of throws that option for saving some time out the window. A second option would be for me to change the frequency of my posts, which I'm already only doing it like once a month, which already kind of hurts when everybody is always saying, oh, you got to do it once a week. There's no way I can do it once a week, not with this kind of stuff. But doing it less, that might get me some more time back. But depending on how things are going, that would also kind of end up skewing the ratios of my content heavily towards spells and specialists, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I know spells and specialists isn't necessarily what all of you want. That's sort of a practical hands-on exemplar of doing the brainstorming and tweaking things into the form that you need. But I also want to cover some of the theory that doesn't necessarily get covered in spells and specialists. So adjusting the timeline is possible. It's not my ideal choice, which is actually going to bring us to number 3. And this is where I really am looking for your feedback on it. The third option that I saw was just to do more live events. Because I don't know if this is still just phoning it in terms of creating fluff and making it so that I am accepting a different form of quality. I'm not sure. But with the live pieces, they're easier to plan. They're easier to set up. And given the nature that they're live recordings, and they're obviously live recordings, there's less pressure on me, at least in my head, if nowhere else, to go through some really rigorous editing and add all of the animations and stuff like that. And doing that cuts a huge chunk of time out of the video generation process. So this actually seems like the best option, is if I can start shifting to more live stream type stuff. And even if I then take the live stream and bring it down, clean up the audio, and, edit it some, that will still be significantly less time than just doing any of the more formal videos and comprehensive videos that I've done in the past. Now, I have a bunch of ideas that I want to run through with you. And then in the comments, let me know which ones you're most interested in, if you have any other ideas. Also, if you think me going this route of switching to live is no different than me phoning it in with like shorter fluff pieces, also let me know about that. I mean, please be nice about it. But if you feel that's still just me trying to take the cheap way out, I do want to know. Okay, I've got 9 different ideas for types of live stream content that I want to go over with you. I mean, there's obviously the standard Q&As that we can do, but I wanted to expand a little bit beyond that. The first idea I had is I thought maybe we could do some live stream series where we build a magic system together, right? We show up live and build it a piece at a time, going through the 7 stages of building a magic system. And that would require some audience input. I want it so that you guys could be voting on the different aspects, being there to help some of the brainstorming and things like that. I thought that would be a really fun series, is having us talk through that. That would basically be kind of what we do with Spells and Specialists, but expanded. So taking potentially hours of time to fully flesh out the ideas and the restrictions and really home in on what type of magic we want and that kind of stuff. Second idea would be, some guest streamers, having some people from other channels come in, whether that's us doing me doing an interview with them, which, there's interview podcasts and interview YouTube channels friggin' everywhere. So I don't know if that's the route we want to go, but even just having guest streamers on where we build something together, where we just talk through some of these aspects of like, what is it you have seen in terms of soft magic, soft irrational magic, soft rational magic, even maybe having people come in to challenge my statement saying, I think this is garbage and I don't understand why you're saying this, Clark. And it's having a conversation around that. Could be interesting. I don't really know what form that would take, but if you have specific people you would be interested in seeing, or if even better, you think that you could get the ear of some people that you would like to see show up, that would be incredible. And then we can work together as a community to figure out what type of stuff you want to see. The next idea I had wasn't actually my idea. It's something some other people have recommended in the past, and this would be sort of a live review of user-submitted magic systems. So in that case, you guys, viewers, people on my newsletter, people on Patreon, would send me what they have for their magic system. Now, I will have to put some kind of word count or time limit or scope limit on this, because I can't just... If I get handed a 100-page encyclopedia, which I fully expect some people have, I know I have that level of detail for some of my magic systems, I won't be able to read all of that, at least not in any way that's actually going to save me some time. So it'll have to be concise, but I thought that would be really fun, really interesting, something we could talk through. And if you kind of using it like a pseudo coaching session. If you're having specific problems, you let me know as part of the submission, and we kind of just talk through it. And if you wanted, that could be potentially live coaching sessions, which I hadn't thought about. It's something I do over on Patreon, and I may want to keep over on Patreon. But something to think about is doing some kind of user-submitted magic system review. The next idea I had is basically a magic building challenge where we kind of show up. You guys are submitting a bunch of random ideas. We can figure out the format as we go, but having some sort of pull system in place. And based on the things that you guys vote, I have to take what you give me and turn it into at least the initial structure of a magic system. I thought that could be really fun, really interesting, and also be completely ridiculous and potentially really stretch me as a creative and as a writer. If you guys are really pushing me towards like, hey, I want this to factor into a character's addiction, or I want this to factor into a character's acceptance of their sexuality, or this needs to be related to air conditioners. I don't know. I really don't know. But doing that kind of challenge, I think could be ridiculous and entertaining. And I have done standard Q&As, but something that came up last time is I'm thinking of maybe modifying that a little bit. It is turning it into more of a lecture in Q&A where I have a specific topic and I have some notes planned, very similar to what I've done with my actual videos, right? I have a basic topic and I've got some stuff I want to go over, and we start by me talking through it and then leaving some room for Q&A afterwards. Actually, now that I say that, basically it would be like miniature presentations that I give at conferences, really. As topic, cover it, open up for Q&A, and go from there. Sixth idea I had was for Magic System and Seed Crystal pitch sessions. So having a very strict time limit or word count for people to pitch their Magic System. And even turning that into a review of different sorts of being like, let's see if we can hone this, make this stronger, make it so it's more interesting, try and find a way that we can trying to find that hook and how to express that hook. So when you deliver the single line about your Magic System, other people sit up and say, tell me more, instead of having their eyes gloss over as you start talking about why it's complicated, which it's always complicated, but to sell it, we need a strong pitch. Again, not quite sure how that'll shape out, but I'm willing to try. Similar to one of the previous ideas, I thought maybe we could do some homebrew tabletop RPG content reviews, like user submitted. This is a little off course, but especially if people are dealing with spells or classes or something like that, I think that could be interesting. And as everything, I'm willing to try. And after that, next idea I had, right now I'm just thinking of it as magic conundrums, but where I give you guys, it would be a short thing, but I give you guys details of a magic system, a situation, and a goal. And then we work to come up with the most creative answers. And we can either be coming up with them live, or I can give you guys a window to come up with your answers, and then I review the better ideas live. And I don't know, maybe that's what turns into the like curated YouTube content as opposed to live stream. It's like maybe that's just something I end one of the live streams with as a magical conundrum, and then in the next one I can review the early answers, which or some of my favorite answers. So I don't know. Just another thing I thought could be kind of cool. And also, just the last idea would just be working on doing some community problem solving and brainstorming. You know, you guys explain a problem you're having, and we talk through potential solutions. And this one could very easily morph into many of the others. So maybe this is really just me trying to set up a formal like submission box for you guys to submit topics and problems that I can address, like the whole letter to the editor type thing. So now those are all the ideas I have. I don't have to do all of these live events. And even if I continue making some of the more polished formal videos, which I do want to do, these types of content could really simplify the content planning and the content creation process. I really do need your help here now, because the main problem I've got is time and energy, and I'm getting closer to being able to switch to full-time writing, and the stuff you do might help me get there faster. No guarantees, but there are some ways that could alleviate the pressure, make me feel more confident, and potentially get me there faster. I'm going to start with the easiest ones and move to the ones that kind of have a bit more commitment to them. First off, just sharing content. This is probably the easiest but most important thing that you could do for me right now. We all know how important word of mouth is, both in terms of social proof and in appeasing the algorithms. So just sharing the content that you like, dropping it in Reddit, posting it in Discord servers. Don't spam stuff ever, please. But if there's a place that it's appropriate, just share my stuff, because just helping that build momentum, even if it doesn't get me to the full-time writing faster, it will help things be more stable once I start. And also, you can join me on Patreon. Again, I'm close to switching to full-time writing, and at this point, unless every single one of my subscribers goes out and becomes a patron right now, the chances of that accelerating the timeline isn't crazy. So it's not, you need to give me money or all of this is going to go away. I'm not holding it at that level at all. But every additional patron does build a more stable platform for me to step onto when I'm able to make that switch. And if this does take off and if you guys really do take this and make everything blow up, which not expecting, but we have seen crazier things on the internet, right? I might be able to change sooner. So those are two things that you can help with, specifically around, well, more general, that you can help me with my content and my platform. The last way you can help is, this is always true, but especially now, especially for this video, let me know what you think. How do you feel about there being more live stream type content? Really, do you feel that that's me kind of taking the easy way out so I'm not producing as high quality stuff? What did you think of the different ideas that I pitched? Do you have other ideas that you think might be interesting or better than what I came up with? how long would you want these events to be? Because an hour-long live event doesn't seem too terrible, but then an hour-long video that is left afterwards is less easy for people to consume. So where do you fall? Would you want to attend the live event? Would you want to have me record the live event and then break it down into 20, 30-minute segments, into 20 to 30-minute segments, and then just post those on the channel proper? How would you want to consume this kind of stuff? What do you want to see? What is it you need, and what is going to work better for you? Because I've got this information in my head. So much of this is about me finding the ways to effectively share it with you. The last thing really is just, you don't need to do anything for this last bit, honestly. Just knowing that you're here, the fact that you guys have subscribed, and if you haven't, like and subscribe. That helps tremendously. That kind of falls under sharing content. But knowing that there are people out there who got my back and aren't going to suddenly hate me for my weakness and failure to deliver, which is how my brain is insistent on interpreting the situation. Knowing that you guys are still there, still have my back, and are still interested in what I have to say, and what I have is still proving helpful, that helps a great deal in the mental health and burnout department. Knowing you guys are here really means a lot. So if you've just made it to the end of this video, if you just subscribed for the first time, or this is your first video that you've ever seen, I appreciate having you here. And wherever this channel goes and whatever happens next, I just want to make sure that you keep writing and stay awesome.